my lunacy, it all breeds from lies. You tell me you are the drug, got high off buzz, even now it haunts me. I'm floating down as I slowly touch the ground. I'm thinking how you ruined me. I cry for
Well, hi.
How's it going?
Not bad. How is everyone?
I haven't decided yet.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody. A little bit of change of plans. We were supposed to have PDX on with us tonight, but for the convenience of her and the health of her, we no longer have her tonight. But that show will be here in the near future. So we decided we want to do an open podcast night tonight. Open invitation to anybody. If you have a story you want to come on, you want to talk about it, and you want to tell us what's going on, or just talk about something cool, paranormal related, then feel free. We got the link shared out. So we got an amazing panel tonight. T, right over here beside me. Right there. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Not bad. And very exciting news. We have an episode coming out here very soon. T finally reunites with the Minnesota Spirit Hunters. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So keep an eye out for that. We got great episodes coming out. Cara, Brandon, how are you?
Doing good.
Oh, just keep you. How about you?
Very
Couldn't be
Minnesotan
better.
of you.
And this little box below me here with the Frankenstein forehead. How are we? No, I'm kidding.
It's not nice to talk about yourself like that, man. You need to help.
I mean,
You seeing double or something? Or
everybody, welcome to Consultant.
what's up, everybody?
How is everyone doing tonight? Now, tonight we have a great number of viewers already. I mean, before the show even starts. So, welcome everybody to the show. We have an amazing new product that we're going to premiere tonight right here on MNSpiritCast. But stay tuned because that'll be later after our short intermission. This product will be available only on the Minnesota Spirit Hunters Facebook page. You can go over and you can get that. Link will be shared out soon. So, new product will be promoted tonight. No, it is not merchandise, but it is tasty. So, we'll get into that a little later tonight. So, I think we all know what we're talking about here.
I hope it's not the video that Matthew showed.
You never know. You never know. Squeakers is here. Hello, Squeakers. How are you? Lurker himself. All right, guys. So we have a unscripted show tonight. It is an open podcast night. We are talking about whatever we want tonight here. PG-13. Be yourself. No filter. Whatever. Open podcast night. So first of all, why don't we all start with our most... how do I want to word it? Let's start with our most exciting paranormal story. What is the most exciting thing that's ever happened to any of you on an investigation? Whether it's an EVP or a piece of equipment going off, or you've been touched, or whatever.
Who are you asking specifically? Just anybody can answer?
Yes, everybody. I want to hear everybody's story. What is the most exciting thing? Kara, we'll go ahead and start with you.
You had to have a question.
I was going to say, well, I have so many, it's hard to choose. The last investigation we were just on was really cool.
It was. Now, I don't want to give out spoilers, but I do want to say one thing. This place that we were at was, I don't want to say too far because I don't want to give the spoilers, but let's just say that it was a cemetery, and in this cemetery had a giant mausoleum, and this mausoleum is a crematorium, and a funeral home. So they do their funerals and they cremate and everything right here in this mausoleum. And late at night, we were there until what, like 2 in the morning, 3.
Yeah.
So super late, and 2 lights out in front. That's all I can tell you. I cannot tell you about what happened with the lights, but it's got us all mind blown because something really weird happens at 1:57 in the morning. Who we don't believe we believe it's a weird time for this to happen. And we may sound crazy talking about it right now, but we don't want to spoil anything.
Did you call them?
I will be calling the Cemetery Association to ask them if this should have happened at this time, because we just want to clarify whether it is it's real, or we want to clarify whether it is paranormal or whatever, because we don't want to just say that this happened because it's paranormal. It's just something very exciting, so exciting that when it happens, we get an EVP coming through the spirit box that lined up perfectly with this series of events. So exciting that I literally shout out loud as loud as I can.
Where you started screaming because you were so excited?
So excited. It was so exciting. And I hope this is real. I hope they say that these lights are not supposed to do what they did at 1:57 in the morning. I'm just hoping and I'm praying. Matt, shut up, Karen.
Take my wife for that one. One of my
Nice
favorite
shirt.
shirts. This is one of my favorites.
Nice
I would
shirt.
have to say one of my most exciting things that's happened paranormal-wise is seeing soldiers walking in a row.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh
fun.
yeah,
That was sweet.
that was pretty cool,
We've seen it several times, so it's cool every time.
right? Another cool thing, and T, this kind of relates over to you. Also at this last investigation we were on, there's this one part of this cemetery, and I knew the story behind it, but T and Rochelle have never been to this cemetery before, so they obviously wouldn't have known anything that happened. Now, I didn't say a word. I didn't say anything so that the mediums could not hear. But they walk around, they do their investigation, whatever, and I take one at a time over to the side, and I tell them, walk me through what you guys experienced at this part of the cemetery. And so I take Rochelle walks me through what she experienced, and then I take T, and T walks me through what she experiences. All at the end, I tell them what the real story is. Perfectly lines up with the exact story of this part of the cemetery. Never once have I seen these two mediums work together so well as they did last night. It was not last night, last weekend, I believe. It was perfect. It was awesome, and it was exciting. So we can't wait to get this episode up and ready for you guys to watch. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's been the most fun one that we've filmed for season 3 so far. Season 2. Matt, exciting story.
Well, let's see. I've seen a couple of full-bodied apparition, partial-bodied apparition, some that were. He's right. A lot that as an investigator you get excited about, and are really, game changing. I would say as far as evidence, but But I think.
Oh, good Lord.
I think.
Are we going to keep promising people free calendars that are not coming out?
What are we talking about? Something happened? Oh, hey, Tanner.
Yeah, right. Not happening, Lurker.
But nothing was said on my show tonight. But I think as far as like for me personally exciting, childish as it is, I was excited about it. Was when my San Diego team and I caught an EVP of a ghost farting. That was my absolute favorite, and for me, just like motivating. Like, let's go back. And I know what happened. Well, I know it was an EVP because we all know you have a good time. You're out investigating. Someone does something that's loud and as moist as that was, you would have reacted. Somebody would have said something. I'll just put it that way. And I'll never forget my investigator. We were sitting there listening to the evidence, and all of a sudden he hands me the recorder, and he's just shaking, laughing, like holding it back. And I'm like, what? And he goes, you've got to listen to this. And I'm like, all right. And I put the headphones in, and you hear one of the other investigators go, if there's somebody here, can you give me a sign of your presence? And you just hear this thing just rumble. And it was bad. It was a change of pants 100%. But what was weird about it, nobody reacted. And it was loud enough, it sounded like it was right up there, like ground zero. So somebody would have heard that, but nobody reacted to it. Not a chuckle, not anything. It was, what's your name? As calm as can be. And I'm like, are you kidding me? The most immature person on our team did not react to that. And they're like, no. So, ghost fart.
Wow.
That was probably the one I was the most excited about.
And when was this?
This was out in San Diego. We were at a residential case. The clients were talking about possible demonic, as they always do. Come to find out, her father passed away 6 months ago, and the family never got proper closure. So we showed her the EVP, or had her listen to the EVP. The husband's laughing his ass off. And the wife's like, well, what is that? And he goes, you know, that was your dad. 100%.
Oh, good Lord.
Yep. So that was probably the one that got me the most excited.
Hey, Irene. Appreciate that, David. Thanks
What's
for
up,
tuning
David?
in.
From Hope Paranormal.
Welcome, everybody coming in. Right now, we are talking about ghost farts. So, everybody, welcome. No, seriously, though, like, as weird as it sounds, I would love to capture something that odd during an investigation.
And it was, too, because, like, we weren't getting anything, like, that stood out. Like, a couple knocks here and there, a couple of odd feelings, but nothing really that was like, oh, my gosh. But when we caught that, it was like, okay, something's there, definitely, 100%. What more proof do you need with a bunch of immature people running around? You get something like that, that's comedy gold. And
Yeah.
reacts to it. It's like, what more do you need?
Yeah, right. Wow. Now, T, what do you have any exciting things that's ever happened? I mean, like, even if it's just clarification, like you got a reading and then it was clarified and whatever. Has anything exciting ever happened when you're investigating? Doesn't even have to be with Minnesota Spirit Hunters. I mean, ever.
Well, Minnesota Spirit Hunters is the first team that I've ever been with to go investigating. So, and since I haven't been on a lot of investigations, sadly, I can't say that I'm like totally excited. I mean, this past weekend was really cool. But the one thing that sticks in my mind the most is my mom had this gift, and she was always joking around with me and testing me. And when we lived in Iowa, there was this house for sale. And she's like, I want to go over there and I want to look at this house, because she wanted us to buy it, apparently. And I'm like, okay. So I walk onto the property and I'm like, oh, I don't know that I like this house. And she's like, oh, come on, let's look in the windows. Let's see what's in there. And I was just like, I don't know if I want to do that or not. And no, guys, it's ghosts. And so I was just very leery, but we finally went around to where the mudroom was, and I went up to the window and I looked in and I went, oh my gosh. And by this time, my mom was on the other side of the house, and she's like, what? And I'm like, I know why this house isn't being sold. It's because it's got an old lady that died in it. And she started laughing so hard. And she's like, yeah, you're right. That's why it hasn't sold. I just was testing you. And I'm like, seriously, mother?
Oh my gosh.
I know. So that's one story that sticks in my mind a lot, because she was always testing me, doing things like that. But yeah, that was a little freaky.
I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where did Mr. Consultant go?
I don't know.
Anyway. Dang, some old lady.
Yeah, she wasn't mean or anything. It was just hadn't been gone for very long, let's just say. So yeah.
Wow. Call, I guess.
You can read it.
Okay.
So we talk about like our most exciting thing that's ever happened. Now, what's the one thing that has just made you be like I'm out, I don't want to do this, screw this field, I don't want to do it anymore? I'm not even talking negativity. I'm talking activity, where it got you so good that you're just like, nope, I'm out of here, I'm not doing this. What is that one moment that absolute scared the ghost toots out of you? Anybody?
I haven't really had one yet.
I haven't either.
Mm-mm.
Hi.
I can't
Aaron
even
Hoffman.
think of any.
Aaron Hoffman, a fellow Minnesota paranormal investigator. Welcome to the show. We have an amazing audience tonight. So, none of us have a moment where you got absolute scared on an investigation.
Not on an investigation. I mean, I've been scared before. Like, there's been things that have scared me before, even as a child and stuff. But like, I've never been scared on an investigation where I thought.
Okay, well, what I mean is like total lifetime. Anything paranormal that has ever scared you so much to where you just don't want to be bothered, you want nothing to do with it. That moment, you know how sometimes in the middle of the night you go do something and you got the lights on, you have to flip the lights off, and you absolutely just bolt through the house to get back to where you're going because you're so scared. What is that one moment where you just did not want to be around, and that one moment that's, like I said, scared the ghost toots out of you?
Mine was when I was a teenager.
Mine was when I was a kid. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's hear them.
Mine was when me and Cara first got together.
All right. Well, it looks like we do have to.
Well, we went on an investigation.
Jeez.
So I have to get going. Yeah, see you guys.
Following us back.
We're getting dark over here tonight.
Hey, you said it was open mic night.
It is open mic night. All right. Well, let's hear these stories because it sounds like you guys got some. So, T, I want to know what happened to you when you were a kid. What got you so scared?
So I was living in Mississippi with my mom and dad, and my bedroom was at the end of a hallway. And I don't remember if I was going to bed or if I was just going to my room for something. And I'm walking down the hallway, and all of a sudden I ran into something.
Mhm.
And I just stopped and I looked around and I was like, what the heck was that? And then I was like, nope. And I took off to my room and every light had to be on from then. And my mom's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I ran into something in the hallway and there's nothing there. And she was just like, okay. So that was scary. I mean, being a child, it's like, what the heck? I never did find out what it was, but it was pretty solid, but yet there wasn't anything there because it stopped me dead in my tracks. So yeah, that was kind of scary.
Well, I imagine, yeah.
Sounds good.
So I am sharing out the link to join the show even further than it already has been shared. If anybody wants to join and tell us about your spooky ghost stories, feel free. Open invitation, and just be yourself when you come on the show. If you've never been on the show, we love to have you, but if you have, we always love to have returning guests. So feel free, and anybody is welcome. So
She's not my remote.
Should we share yours or no?
all right, yeah, Cara, let's hear your spooky story. What happened when you were a teenager, you said?
Yeah, I was like 13. I had for like 2 years straight some type of thing in my room.
But really quick, this is my sister. First time of her catching our shows, so thank you for watching. Anyway, go ahead, Cara. Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, I was just saying, from like when I was 12 until I was like 14, this thing used to be in my room. I had to explain. Like this big black mass thing would come out from the ceiling and come down towards my bed. So I got so freaked out by it that I wrapped Christmas lights around my bedposts, all the way around my bedpost. So it was like a big square of lights around me.
Wow.
Probably the scare, but that was like a nightly basis. So.
And you did this just so it wasn't dark when you were.
In my brain at the time, I thought, well, if I have lights next to me, then it can't get me. So I guess probably, what you believe happens, or, your belief protects you. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It would come down right to where the lights were, but then it would go back up.
Oh, wow.
So
that's
night it went away.
That's one thing that I've never understood. and I know kids have their beliefs and everything, but like when a kid hides under a blanket, like the monster is gonna stay away from them. The blanket's gonna protect them, and if the lights worked, hey, it's a good method to use.
You know, it's kind of like one of those: if I can't see you, you can't see me.
If I can't see you, you don't exist. Basically, is what it is.
I can't tell you how many times I did that when I was little.
Yeah, right. I did it before too. Like even being teenager or being adult, I still get scared of things. It doesn't matter if you're in the paranormal field. You still get scared of stuff. You can't say I'm a paranormal investigator. Nothing scares me. There's got to be something out there that scares everyone. I'm
sure there is, but most of the time I just laugh when people get scared.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It all depends.
Ow.
Nobody. What I've always believed, nobody is absolutely invincible.
No.
Even if you are a paranormal investigator, the best paranormal investigator out there has their weaknesses. We all have weaknesses, even in this field. So I've always believed that. And welcome Raymond to the show. Welcome Donna. Welcome everybody. Lurker, and thanks for sharing all the love in the comments there. I had a run-in with a cult by the caves in St. Paul. Are we talking about the Wabasha Street caves over in St. Paul? Yeah, Lurker, leave me alone. Wait till we. You know what? You're gonna be scared to come back on our show because we're promoting your new product tonight. Okay,
I couldn't help myself. Couldn't help myself, Lurker.
Now the Wabasha Street caves, if nobody knows what those are, it's caves in St. Paul, Minnesota. And these caves are haunted caves. And you can take tours of these caves. And apparently, like in these caves, I don't want to say too much because T is here. If we ever go investigate, I don't want her to know anything.
Thank you.
But all it is a set of caves that you can take haunted caves. You can take tours of.
How many times are you going to say caves in one episode there, man?
Caves.
One calendar giveaway per cave.
You know what? You promote that calendar elsewhere, buddy.
New drinking game.
We don't have a calendar here on Minnesota Spirit Hunters. Thank you very much.
These cave calendars are out of stock.
We'll make more.
Yeah, calendar with caves on them. Man, every time that I say caves tonight, everybody needs to give me $1.
I think it's the other way around. I think it's the other way around.
I think it's the other way around. I agree.
Caves. Me caught a figure of a child, thought was my sister, top of the stairs, and wasn't her. You know what? I want to hear more about these stories that you guys are telling. So, I mean, if you want the link, we can go ahead and post it right here in the comments so everybody can grab that. And come on the show. Tell us about your stories. We want to hear more. Sorry I missed the live earlier. I've had a rough day and had to crash for a while.
No excuses.
Right?
Locations represents.
Wow, that's crazy. We'd love to hear more about it. All right, which story are we talking about, Lurker? 11 more days of Facebook jail for me, boo.
Wow.
Jeez. Facebook's tossing everyone in jail right now.
And 12 more until she goes back.
Right?
Just joking, Irene.
Right. Aaron's story. Aaron, would you like the link, man? We would love to hear more about your story. Especially being that like this happened here in Minnesota. I'd love to know a little more, but we might have to figure it. We don't say too much because
I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
T might have to turn her volume all the way down.
Facebook gals most wanted. I absolutely agree. All right, man. I'll get you the link sent over right now, and feel free to hop on here with us.
Actually, I think I got you.
I already have it copied to my clipboard.
Me too.
All right, and ready? Sent.
My scariest thing would have to be me and Carr went and investigated at a place, and we left, went home, laying down to go to bed, and I could see my bedroom door start to open.
Oh wow!
It closes all by itself, and then opens
No.
again.
Can we clarify something, because we know Kara is notorious for making us think doors open on their own.
I was in the bed.
With her back.
Okay.
Not the door.
Okay, because my reference, I was so ticked off on an investigation. This was a private investigation. You know what I'm talking about. This one is coming out in season 3, but we were on an investigation in a private house, and the bathroom door, Kara came out of the bathroom, and we didn't see her come out of the bathroom on camera. All we saw was the door opening itself. So we decided to test it and debunk it. And so I go in the bathroom and I close that door. And I don't latch the door. I just do it exactly how Kara did it. And that door does open on its own because the house is not level. So that door did not open on its own. We were super ticked off because we thought that we got some great evidence. So shame on you, Kara. Just kidding. And we got it in writing right here. Raymond will be on the show September 9th. We all got our eyes right on you.
Screenshotted it.
Perfect. Anyway, Brandon, continue.
After the door opened the second time, we were sitting there laying in my bed, and we could hear glass in the next room like breaking. Like,
oh wow,
the whole room was being trashed. So I got up and grabbed a flashlight and went and checked, and there was like nothing out of freaking place.
Wow.
Went and laid back down, heard the same sound again, and then freaking went and checked again. Nothing. Went and laid back down. Door closed and opened again, and I seen eyes looking from the doorway in at us.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Now, question for you, Brandon, just for sharing that story, can you do something special for us? Can you model Irene's comment for us?
I don't know which is funnier, the comment or Kara's reaction to the comment was like,
oh, good Lord. That is why I like cool old places. There's always history behind it, which is amazing. I absolutely agree. Now, we have some amazing investigations coming up where these places are not condemned. They're not forgotten or anything, but just the history. If you look these places up, you'll I mean, it's just astonishing, the stuff that goes on in these places. You never know what you're going to find. You know, maybe you can discover something new that no investigator has ever known before about these places. So that's the exciting thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and somebody's getting into stuff.
If somebody's leaning up against a wall too hard, and you find a whole room that was blocked off.
Right.
Raina.
And he's gone.
I was going to comment on the Facebook, so you can't get rid of me that easy.
Raina. What do we do?
Raina.
Throw up on Uncle Matt.
Look at her. She's like, no, that's not right. We throw up on.
Who do we throw up on? And we're waiting.
What are you doing?
We're waiting. Oh, we got some new faces here. Let's see. Lurker says, sorry, Irene, no free calendars. Marcus is charging for that. You know it. You know it. All right, guys. Well, welcome a new guest, returning guest on MNSpiritCast from here in Minnesota. I keep forgetting the name of his team, but it's Aaron Hoffman. Welcome.
What's up,
Come
Aaron?
on, guys.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going.
Mm-hmm.
Finally taking a couple of days off from the major project, but
Okay. I saw that you have a really big project in store for us. Before we get into your story, you want to tell a little bit about what's going on your side of the field?
the magazine, yeah. A View Beyond. I just launched it yesterday, early. Well, it was really late last night. I was pretty tired, and I said, you know what, screw it, I'm not going to wait. But it's a paranormal magazine, and it's the only one like it that I found. And what brought it on was I was at Barnes & Noble trying to find some paranormal literature that was current and relevant. But everything I found was like, specialty magazines about one team. Really didn't talk about what they were doing or what they were using, or they were just like scary location.
Mhm.
And I was complaining about it to my wife as we were walking out the car, and she looked at me and goes, well, why don't you just start your own magazine?
Right?
So, yeah, I spent a month, reaching out to people to get ads and stories and tips and whatever. And hopefully it'll be something that, the community can really use, tips and articles about gear, what to look for, where to find them. Try to be on top of current investigative technique. Because a lot of people are still really in the dark about what to do. And I want to try to get everybody, as current as possible and try to make the paranormal field, a force to be reckoned with in the scientific community.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I don't know who this man's pointing at, but
The one in the corner, the jealous one. Above Aaron, next to T. That's why we throw up on Daddy.
sure.
Uh-huh.
Opportunity. All right, Aaron. So you were talking about experience over by the Wabasha Street Caves in St. Paul. Now, what exactly were you going through over by these caves?
Okay, well, just to kind of give people a better understanding of what it is they're caves along the Mississippi River, and for years they were used by prohibition bootleggers and gangsters in the 40s and 50s. Then in the 60s and 70s, during the revival of the spiritual movement, they became places for stoners and spiritualists and Satanists to use, and then it became a place where you would find like really dark cult practices there, as well as violent homeless people or violent criminals trying to hide from the law.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the 90s, me and a group of friends of mine, we used to go explore these caves all the time. They're like favorite places to go. And when we came to one of the bigger ones, we called it the Cave of Screams. And it was because the way the openings were positioned along the cliff wall, if the wind came by, it would resonate with the whole cave, and it sounded like people were screaming.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody had blasted it shut. I think it was the city. And we're getting ready to go in, and all of a sudden I look up, and on the outside edges, I saw like a bunch of cloaked figures, or something that looked like cloaked figures. I'm not sure if it was a cult. I'm positive, almost positive it was a cult, but it might have been a series of shadow figures. But I'm grabbing my friend. I'm like, dude, get me out of here. Get me out of here. And so we walk back almost a mile back to the van. And just as we get to the van, my friend Jody, who was about 6'8", not afraid of anything, was outrunning everybody like he just saw go.
Wow.
And it's not too far from the cave that's also known as the Altar. Now, this place is really creepy. The only way into it is you go through the cave, you walk a little ways, and then it gets a little smaller and smaller and smaller till there's about a 10, maybe 12-foot stretch where you have to literally do a military crawl through a needle's eye to get into this cavern. Then it opens up, and on the back wall is an altar carved into the sandstone with candle holders in the form of a pentagram. We went in there one night, and all of a sudden I hear my friend Ronnie saying, nope, back up, back up, back up. And he's trying to crawl backwards. And he said, dude, that whole altar is covered in blood. We are out of here. So those are the two paranormal experiences. You can call them paranormal experiences only because they deal with, black practice. Those are the two that scared me out of those caves for years. I didn't go back until a couple of years ago. There was a 30-year period that I just would not go back.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. T, I know this, being a medium, I know this might be a lot to take in. What do you think about this?
I was trying, to be honest, I was trying not to pay too much attention so I wouldn't get like a back history. So
Right.
But the part where he's like, we have to army crawl, I'm like, nope, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot that happened there that like you said, I'm going to try not to get too far into. But I mean, it really is a very unique and amazing place. So if you get a chance to go out there and check it out, I would definitely recommend it.
Absolutely. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what got you interested in actually going back to the caves after this 30-year that you wouldn't go back?
I had started Night Watch with Tom Rakowski and Neil Mao, and we were looking for places to investigate. And this was just after they started lifting the lockdown and people were allowed to go out again. And I said, why don't we check out the St. Paul Caves? I haven't been there in a while.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of crazy stuff. And we get there and we found, it took us a while to find everything because the city had tried to blast most of these caves shut. And they literally blasted down part of the embankment just to try to get rid of the cave or the entrances because they had so many problems with them, especially in the early 2000s when 3 kids got lost in there and ended up suffocating from cyanide poisoning.
Oh, wow.
But when we finally found the place that used to be the cave of the altar, they tried to pour cement in, so there's only a small opening. And I had my SB7 over a speaker, and I stuck my hand down in that cave. And before anything came through, I just felt like really creeped out, like I did not want to be there. And I said, "Is there anything here?" And it said, "Yes." And I asked, "Are you human?" And it said, "No."
Wow.
Pulled the Spirit Box 7 out, walked back down that embankment, right back to the truck, and I said, "We're done."
Wow. Absolutely crazy, man.
Yeah.
I see some people here in the comments saying that they would like to make a road trip out of this. So what are we waiting for? Bring your butts to Minnesota and let's do it.
Yep, now's the perfect time. It's beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you do it before October.
Yes, do it before October, yes.
So Lurker is the furthest south. So Lurker's going to meet up with Raymond in Kentucky, and then they're going to drive up to Pennsylvania to pick me up, and then we're going to drive over.
Now, what's this shotgun in my Jeep crap?
You got to drive to San Antonio to pick up Lurker.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it won't even make it out of Minnesota the way it is now.
Oh, Squeakers wants to go. Okay, so never mind. So you have to go pick up Squeakers first, then go pick up Lurker.
Ah, okay. Well, we have another amazing guest. By the way, welcome, Rochelle. Nobody saw her pop up in here, so welcome. Hi.
I saw her.
We are in for a treat. Next, we have another amazing guest who has never been here before and is a little shy on camera. So let's all go easy and help this person through her story. So, Aaron, man, it's an absolute pleasure having you on here again. It's been so long.
No problem. Thanks for letting me on.
Absolutely. I'm going to reach out to you, man. I want to schedule a whole episode just based on you and your team. I want to get you on here.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
I'll reach out to you after the show, man. But thank you for coming and telling us your story. Absolutely amazing.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys. Take it easy.
Absolutely.
Nice seeing you again, brother.
All right, guys. Our next guest, who has never been on Minnesota SpiritCast before, has an amazing story for us. So, little camera shy, so let's all take it easy on her. But everybody, welcome Donna, who we always see in the comments.
Hi, Donna.
How are you?
Welcome.
Thank you.
We always see you in the comments, but we never see you on here. It's so exciting to have you here.
I'm very shy, you guys. Bear with me.
Oh, take your time. We got nothing but time.
Hi, Marcus. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you guys all.
You too.
Oh, my story to tell you. Back home in Lynn Lake, Manitoba, that's where I'm from. We lived in a white house. It used to be the first police station on Sherrod Avenue. And when we moved in, we didn't have no cameras then. Remember, those days was not exist till now, right? So all we could do is feel the person, whoever was in the house with us. So a couple nights ago, I had some friends over and I put my brothers and sisters to bed. So I was playing Pink Floyd, Alice Cooper, AC/DC, some rock and roll music, because I got into my brother's records and brought them up and say, hey, let's play, right? Mm-hmm. So meanwhile, I heard some strange noise upstairs. So I happened to turn around and say, what's going on? Because I know I put my brothers and sisters to bed because they got school in the morning. So when I went around the corner to look up, there was a little girl. And what I seen, her hair was all naughty. She had one of these old-fashioned pajamas on, and she was top of the stairs. I said, Dora. I thought it was my sister. I said, get back to bed. You got school in the morning. And then next minute, I hear, I'm already in bed. I go, no, you're not. So I turn around, start playing music with my friends, and we're dancing. So the next day, my sister came downstairs, and she seen Mom. She goes, Mom. And she goes, what? I said, Donna was yelling at me. I said, what for? She said I was out of bed, and I wasn't. And Mom goes, okay, I'll have a talk with Donna. So my other sister came downstairs, and she goes, Mom, she goes, I got something to tell you. And she goes, what? I seen a little girl. She came to my room, but her eyes were kind of red. I thought it was Dora playing tricks on me. So I said, Dora, go back to bed. And this little girl, Debbie said she went through the wall. I go, what? What are you talking about? Mom goes, oh, Debbie, you must be dreaming. You know, there's no such thing. Yeah. So sure enough, Dora comes in and Dora goes, Mom, it wasn't me. So we thought, okay, we'll let it go. Maybe, one of them are not telling the truth, what's going on. So after that, a couple of days after, Mom had to go back to the house from the hotel. As she turned around to the house to go upstairs, she seen a shadow coming down the stairs. And I said, well, Mom, what happened? She goes, Donna, I didn't go into the house. I went back to the hotel till you guys came back from school. Mm-hmm. So, okay, that was kind of strange. So meanwhile, we're all in the house and we're doing our thing. And I came downstairs and I noticed my mom had a cigarette in the living room. And my mom was in the kitchen. I said, Mom, what are you doing smoking in the living room and you're in the kitchen? She goes, Donna, that's not mine. I picked it up. I go, it's soaking wet. So I adapted it out. Okay, didn't dawn on me after that. And a couple nights after that, we heard strange sounds. And we were downstairs. I go, what's that noise? Why the house is shaking? But the house wasn't shaking. It was making a whole lot of like someone's moving furniture upstairs. Well, meanwhile, we didn't want to tell my younger brothers and sisters. There was a young guy killed himself in the basement. And Mom figured probably that was maybe him. So early in the morning, like when she was heading to work, before she had her cup of coffee, was sitting in the dark, she felt strange hands touching her leg. She looked underneath the table, and sure enough, there was nobody there. Kind of spooked her. So she mentioned this guy from the mine to see if he could come over and see what he could do for us, because we're getting these strange feelings in this house that we never had this experience before, like sounds, shadows. Me and my sister, we thought maybe it was my mom playing tricks on us. We opened the door and here we see a figure of a woman, this dash so quick, and we're calling her name, Mom, no answer. So the guy came over and he was in the middle because those days we didn't have no equipment. He goes, whoever's here in this house, can you kindly leave these people alone? They don't harm you. They're a family. You know, she's a single mother raising her kid. They don't want to hurt nobody. So whoever you are, just kind of slowly leave them alone. So after he left, and couple days after that, it still happened. The person whoever's letting us know he's still there or she's still there, but it didn't hurt us, you know, just letting us know it's there. So now when we moved out, another family moved in, and they saged the house because they were having the same what we were having. But now that house is gone, it's torn down. So I can't even go there and bring some equipment and try myself. So that's my story. We lived in a kind of a haunted house in a way. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing story.
That was
Very amazing story.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
You did a great job.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I
Thank
was
you for
nervous.
facing your fear.
You were fine.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a perfect story for coming on.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Did anybody play the Ouija board when you were in that house?
There was a bunch of boys. My brother and his friends. They had a board and they were down in the basement. I remember, and they were calling the famous actor Bruce Lee, and they were calling his name because he passed away a couple years ago. And one of the boys, after they stopped playing, one of the boys got a scratch on his back, and we thought it was somebody else scratched him, but no, he got scratched.
Wow.
So the Ouija board, we didn't know about that kind of it's an evil, board game, right? So we just tossed it out.
I think that's what brought a lot of it in. At least that's what I feel.
Yeah, I heard if you have two mirrors facing each other, you could also bring the spirit inside.
That's true too. Yes.
Yeah.
They can make a portal. Make a portal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, too bad you guys can't investigate down in Manitoba, but I'm heading home soon. I'm going to go for a month because one of my friends has an activity going on in her house. So with help with Mark Lee and Brandon, I'm going to be buying some equipment. I'm going to try because she's getting shadows in her kitchen.
Oh, wow.
And she also gets, she's getting voices like calling her name. It's a gentleman. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's been picking up a lot of orbs. She even, when they lost their dog, she picked up her dog's bark in her home.
Wow.
She's also getting shapes of smoke, like when it's trying to deform itself. So she caught that on the edge of her bed. I was up there too, and we caught an orb going down my leg. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she has that. What you got? A person that gets seizures. When you have shakes.
Epilepsy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah,
about
yeah.
that. I was trying to remember. But since then, she's been getting them. So I think it's good spirits around her, protecting her.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go into Trudy Morgan weird stuff, that's what she posts online, and she posts a lot of pictures and videos what she catch in her home.
You after you're done on here, you want to throw that in the comments so everybody can see that and we can remember it?
Yeah, of course, Marcus. So anyway, good night, everyone. Thanks for letting me come on.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on, Donna. We want to get you on your own episode, Donna. I'll talk to you a little more about that.
Sounds good. Okay, bye, Marcus. Okay,
right.
I'll still go back on your show. I'll just get off here.
And Cara and Brandon are like out.
So say I got promoted. Oh, nope, never mind. Down the bottom again.
All right, so we are going to take a small intermission, and when we come back, we have one more truly amazing guest who is patiently waiting backstage. Now, we have one more guest with another story, and then we have some news about Global Ghost Hunt to talk about. Then we're going to get a few more ideas or stories from the hunters and Matt and everybody else. So small intermission, and we will see you guys right back here right after the videos. So please enjoy our promotional videos here. All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. Now, before the break, we had two amazing guests come on, and share their stories with us, one of which who has never been on the show, and we were able to help face their fears tonight of being on screen, talking to other people. So I feel like we actually made a difference and done something good tonight. So, but we are at a really good part because our guest, who is backstage right now, who's been waiting patiently to tell us his story, who's also been in the comments. Now, we've seen him in the comments, and he's finally here. So, everybody, welcome, Tanner. Hi.
Muted, Tanner.
Hey guys, how's it
Hello.
going?
What's up, brother? Long time no see.
Yeah, right?
Just to let you know, Tanner, there are no calendars, man.
Good to know.
Just saying.
It's not what I was told.
Yeah, right. Okay, whatever. All right, so Tanner, in the comments, I saw that you had a great story that you briefly typed out. Now, why don't you expand a little more and tell us about your experience, your story?
Yeah, so this was this would have been close to 20 years ago. We were doing investigations. I was just getting started, and I went through that whole online course with like Flamel College. Those of you guys that remember Flamel. So we were out at this public location. It's an area that we had seen activity in before. This was my first team. It was myself, John. We had 2 or 3 other people out there with us, and we noticed that we got more activity when we had a female present. Now, at the time, we didn't know anything about elementals. We were out. We were kids. No, when I say kids, we were 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there. And we were out investigating, looking at things, getting curious, and getting to know what the equipment was. So we had our EMF detectors, we had the cameras and stuff, and we're out there. And so we're in this park, and back in the day, keep in mind, this was 20 years ago, and provoking was something that pretty much everybody did, and it didn't have the stigma that it does today. And honestly, this is one of the reasons that I don't do it anymore. But we got to this area, we hadn't had a lot of activity, and we had a female that was there specifically to get this entity to interact with us. So we started provoking, and we started cussing it out, and we basically started acting like someone I'm pretty sure you all are familiar with from certain reality shows. And this predated the reality shows, but we got some activity, and we got the most explosive activity that we had ever gotten in that park. So the girl that was with us, usually like people get picked on, they feel like something brushing their hair or pulling their hair back, and you can kind of see it move. I've had my head touched and like hair stroked and stuff while I was out there. She fell to the ground, and we thought she just fell down, but she couldn't get up. And she started in a very strained voice saying, I can't get up. I can't move my body. I'm frozen. So myself, and at the time I had been a football player. I'm an athlete, Olympic weightlifter. Most of the guys that were out there were pretty strong, and there were 3 of us. Me and another guy were up toward her shoulders. I was on one side, he was on the other. And then we had another guy down around her waist and feet. And we're trying to pull her off the ground. And we couldn't. Like we inched our fingers under her shoulders, and it was like trying to pick up this massive boulder. It didn't feel like there was force that was pushing her down to the ground. She was just this immovable object that we could not get it to budge. And she was freaking out and screaming, or like her entire body was tense. And I'm not sure if that was the thing that was doing it. Or if she was just so freaked out and fighting so hard to stand up that every muscle in her body was tense. She herself, she was an athlete. She's super, super strong individual physically and mentally. But she couldn't get up. We couldn't pry her up. Finally, like we're pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling, and it just stops. And she flies up and we fall over. So I stand up. I feel a pressure in my side, and then I fall over to the ground. And I have this big red mark on my side, like something hit me. I'm not sure if it was her when we were picking her up or if something hit me there. But we hightailed it out of there after that. Once something happens and someone's damaged, we're not in somebody's home. We're in an area that we're not leaving somebody in a bad place. We went ahead and just scooted out of there. And that, I think I tried provoking in one more investigation where it was unwarranted. and I stopped. That was one of those lesson learned type things.
Yep.
Yep.
Now, what are your thoughts on provoking today?
Generally, no. So my background is as a forensic interviewer and a private investigator. There are certain tactics that we use in certain situations. If we believe that there is an entity there that is a threat and is hiding, and we have evidence that it's there, I'll provoke in certain situations. But I'm not going to do it because I'm leaving people in the house when I go home. If I piss them off, they're the ones that have to deal with it. Even if it's a business or a public location, if I piss them off, those workers are the ones that have to deal with it. Mm-hmm. So generally, I don't do it. And in the past, maybe 5 years, I think I've gotten close to doing it maybe once or twice. It's very, very few and far between where it's actually warranted.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow.
But that was one of the most extreme cases that we had. And it was one of those things. At the time, we didn't know what elementals were. We had an idea of what an inhuman spirit might be, but we were looking at things in terms of ghosts and in a very simplistic way of looking at the paranormal back then. We didn't know the breadth of what's out there.
Yeah.
And now we're looking back on it, and it was a sacred place, a place that was donated in the memory of someone who had died. It was old property that had been in the family for a long time, and it's just the type of place that would attract, an elemental spirit, or would have some sort of manifestation of that kind.
Wow.
But that was, looking back on it, cool. At the time, scary as hell.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Have you been back there yet?
Oh yeah, we've been back several times. Activity has died down. I went back, I think 6 months ago. I was doing some experiments with a spirit box. I don't generally use spirit boxes like as evidence to show to clients or to people in their house, but I do use it as an investigative tool to try to find, information, things to look at, ways to look at things. And I went back and did a spirit box session. I thought since activity had died down a bit, if we look at spirit boxes as a tool that you're pouring your, we'll call it psychic energy or your focus into to open some sort of channel or portal to communication, I thought maybe it could jump something there and maybe get a conversation going, but it fell flat.
Wow.
But, looking back on that, it's kind of like cussing somebody out in their DMs and then sliding back in and being like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, right. Oh, geez. Wow. That's crazy, man.
It was nuts. And like 22 years of doing this, there's like a handful of cases that I've seen, like less, I don't know the exact count, but like less than 5 cases where we've had explosive activity like that.
Yeah. Wow. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
It sounds like it. Wow. Well, we couldn't be more appreciative of you coming. I know I just sent you the link and said come tell your story if you want, but I mean,
man, it was great to come on. This is an awesome show. You got a good group here.
Yeah,
Appreciate
Marcus,
that. Well,
he's definitely one that I was telling you about that you need to have on.
Reach out to you after the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Either me or Cara reach out to you. One of us will get you put up on the schedule.
Awesome.
Okay,
cool, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, absolutely. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your story. You're always welcome. Any open podcast night, whatever, any more stories that you got, let us know. We'll feel free to come on and just tell it all. So
awesome. Yeah, we'll do, man.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I will
see you guys.
reach out to you, or Cara
See you, brother.
will talk to you after the show. So we'll see you later. There we go.
Yeah, for those, I don't know if I told you yet, Marcus. I think I did, but Tanner has his own show as well. It's called Ghost Hunter Advice, GHA.
Okay,
find him on. Yeah, Ghost Hunter Advice. You can find him on, I believe, like Amazon, Spotify, and a couple other places. But all of his links are on Facebook, so you can just go to Ghost Hunter Advice, find him.
Okay. Awesome.
Great guy.
Well, everybody, don't hesitate to go right over and check out Ghost Hunter Advice and everything, and post some love over there. So, I'm definitely going to be checking out more on Tanner and getting him on the show. So, all right. So before the break, you mentioned that we were going to talk a little bit about Global Ghost Hunt after the show or after the intermission. Global Ghost Hunt. Does anybody know anything about Global Ghost Hunt here? Matt, I know you do. Kara, you're part of Global Ghost Hunt. Is
say we
everyone
better.
else is what?
I was gonna say we better.
Right?
We better
Is
know what
anyone else familiar with the Global Ghost Hunt? Wow, it's a total snooze fest, guys.
I don't.
Yeah, right.
What's that?
Stop talking.
Never heard of it, sorry.
Well, okay, so if you guys don't know what Global Ghost Hunt is, Global Ghost Hunt is a upcoming, as in the name, Global Ghost Hunt. This ghost hunt will take place 2 times in 2023, May and October. And it'll be a 10-day event with full location support, full team support, all hosted by the man of Huntophobia and ParaPost Network, Brian John Everty. Now, Matt, should we send him out a link and have him come on here and talk a little bit about it?
I'll send him out.
Perfect. Now, Global Ghost Hunt is a absolute amazing event. It's going to be a fantastic thing. But as part of the merchandise team, I can say that we do have T-shirts, hats, and hoodies in the works for the merchandise right now. And those will be available on globalghosthunt.com once Brian puts all that up. But we got some amazing stuff. Kara, you recently became part of the Global Ghost Hunt. How's it been going?
Okay, I'm waiting to get better internet to really get going better, but otherwise learning.
All right, we can do this.
Perfect. Awesome. Huh?
Oh, your screen looked frozen.
Oh, well, I can clarify that Minnesota Spirit Hunters will be a part of the Global Ghost Hunt. We will be doing a ghost hunt for Global Ghost Hunt, whether it's May or October. We're not sure yet, but we will be getting that figured out. But you can catch us on there. A lot of our administration team we've all seen before. We have an amazing administration team, and all I can say, guys, is that Global Ghost Hunt is staffed with some of the best people in the field, and we couldn't ask for a better guy to be the front man. You know, it's Brian's an amazing guy. So while we wait on Brian to come on here and talk a little bit about Global Ghost Hunt,
Right now we're at 17.
I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Co-host now, Mr. Brandon. What questions do you have for any paranormal investigator watching or any of the panel here? Like experience wise or favorite moment or something.
Funny.
I know,
I would say one of the funniest moments that you've had.
I love the funny stories.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rochelle, should we tell your funny story again?
People are all nuts.
All right, yeah, let's hear your funniest stories. Rochelle, you've been quiet. Hi.
Hi.
What's your funny story in the paranormal field?
Well, I know you're going to tell it, so I'm going to tell that one first.
All right,
I think is it the Palmer House, I believe.
Palmer House.
Sitting in a room in the dark, all by myself, and Marcus has gone back to the other room to go get something. And they hear this scream, and when they come running down the hall, here's some other chick that's coming on me, scared herself, and flipped herself backwards out of the room, laying in the middle of the hallway.
It gets more funny the more you tell it.
That's just, I was just so mad at her. I'm like, really? What the hell's your problem?
Right.
Hey, what up?
And we're just going through some of the comments here. The myth, the legend, Don Vick. Welcome to the show. got to have lunch. See, you're having lunch, Irene, and we're gonna go to bed soon. I could tell Rochelle was like, darn it, I want to be in bed right now.
No, I'm awake. I didn't know for sure what was going on, so I was kind of sitting there, and I finally seen the bleep for the streamline. I was like, oh, oops, StreamYard's on.
Right. Well, we're happy that you were able to make it. So, let's go with Brandon. What's one of your funniest stories in the field?
Well, one of the funny moments that we've had recently was Greenwood Cemetery trying to get a piece of equipment, working, and start jumping on the, technician for the equipment.
I have a knack for getting the equipment to work when it won't. Usually just
I have
Matt,
video
have
proof
you
of
been
that.
there the whole time?
Huh?
Have you been there the whole time?
Maybe.
I just thought you got up and walked away.
No. You
Okay.
said about embarrassing stories, so I was down here doing something.
Okay. So yeah, Brandon, I know what you're talking about, and I think a really funny moment is nobody really expected it when we were at Greenwood Cemetery, actually. So Brandon is trying to get the spirit box hooked up to the speaker, and can't get it hooked up. So Kara says, hand it over, I'll get it hooked up, whatever. And Kara's getting it hooked up, well, this is before Brandon hands it over. Brandon's still working on it. And we're doing a small EVP session with our voice recorder and everything. And if you saw our intro for our series, it's in there. But came out of nowhere. Like, I wasn't even thinking when I did it. But all of a sudden, I have the EVP recorder, like, right here, talking into it, and it just all of a sudden was instinct to walk up to Brandon, hold it up to him, and ask him how it was to be a failure, how it felt to be a failure. So random, so odd, but I got a laugh out of everybody, and that was the most important part. But Brandon, it's all out of love, man.
Oh, I know.
Did you ever get that video?
Which one?
The one of Brandon being a dork when we were going to take
Oh my gosh. Catch it on the show tomorrow. We'll have it on the show tomorrow. Yes.
Thanks, Cara. Thanks.
We will have it on the show tomorrow.
Don't worry. Hopefully our team.
Hey, you got a funny story for us?
It's one of the funniest things that's happened to you.
No.
Come back to me.
I can't think of anything either. So,
Well, we really can't come back to you because you're the only one left.
yeah.
That's probably got a pretty good one.
Shut up.
All right, Matt, let's hear yours.
I'll be right back after these commercial break.
No, you won't.
Okay, so, well, I actually do have to get going here in a little bit. I got to get up early for work, but I'll tell you. So this one actually happened. Obviously, I did it to myself. So I make it a point where a lot of places I don't hesitate to go into, because I figure if you hesitate and you're scared, it'll build up that energy and a lot of negativity. So just go in, just do it. I try not to back away from a lot. I think it's fun and exciting. Otherwise, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
That being said, out in San Diego, we were investigating a place called Old Town, right in the middle of downtown. Beautiful area, absolutely gorgeous. We were by this old schoolhouse. Now, the schoolhouse isn't in the original location, but it's kind of set off to the side, and they have it set up really nice to where it looked like when they, pioneers and all them were there. Well, I was over with my group, and they were investigating, doing EVPs, asking questions, and I had my phone. Now, I had my phone just like this, only this was all black, right? And I'm recording, doing, some, video work and whatever. And me being me, I'm just looking around, panning. I see a helicopter. I'm filming the helicopter for some reason. And then somebody says they see a shadow inside the schoolhouse. So, any investigator would, I turn my camera like this right to the window and start coming like this. Now, mind you, it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. Not a lot of lights. I'm looking through my viewfinder. I only see this coming straight at me.
Oh,
I screamed. I was cussing. I made up some words. And I mean, you're talking like straight up. Like I needed a new pair of pants. And I couldn't believe I did that, but I was like so embarrassed about it. And apparently, the rest of my team, who was across Old Town, heard me clear as day. Security showed up. They came running over. Oh yeah, it was a big thing. So I had to explain to about 50 different people that I scared the crap out of myself.
Oh my gosh.
And I forgot to turn off the recorder, so I had the whole thing on video.
Oh my gosh.
That's great.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Try explaining to the local PD that you're a professional, serious paranormal team with, explaining that.
Donna says she will pee her pants and run.
I almost did. The only other one on that team I will talk about is we were actually investigating the Whaley House. And it was a lot of fun. Great evidence, great things. And I was outside talking to a group of tourists who were asking a bunch of questions. And then there was a local news person there. They were, interviewing me and just talking with me, not on like camera or anything. They were just, writing things down to make notes. And we're sitting here talking about what the Whaley House is and the history of it and some of the reports that they had. All of a sudden, from behind me, I heard a loud bang that shook the porch that we were all standing on.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, they're like, what was that? I go, I have no idea. They're like, is everything okay? I turn around and look in the window, and one of my investigators sideways, like a cartoon, comes out and goes, and goes back in. I was like, yep, they're good. They're fine.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
They said they claimed they asked for a knock and they got a house rattling bang.
Sounds about right.
No. So, but anyway, hunters, much love to you guys. I do have to get going. Everyone in the audience, much love to you all as well. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe to these guys. Seriously, the hunters put out some really good stuff. Really good stuff.
Appreciate that.
Much love, everybody.
Right back at you, man. Thanks for sharing your stories.
Anytime. Don't ever repeat that. It's classified just between all of us.
Oh, it's all live, buddy.
We'll get it in editing.
Okay. All
See ya.
See you later. All right, guys. Well, we're going to get Kara's story here, her funniest moment. And then we are going to wrap the show up because people have to get up early for work in the morning. So we're going to get going after Kara's story. Kara, what is your funniest moment in the paranormal field?
I would actually probably say before I started on a paranormal team, we went to a local abandoned place, and it's pretty run down, broken out windows, missing doors, things like that. Before they tore the manor down, I walked through the manor, and I was with a woman, and then he was walking with her husband. We broke off into two groups, and she's walking behind me down the hallway, right behind me, because she's freaked out. It's dark, and she's all like spooked. And so I'm walking towards this door in the manor, and it slams right in front of me, like probably off camera, just a couple inches from my face.
Yeah.
Slammed shut right in my face. And I didn't even have time to react because I heard her screaming and running. And I turned around and she took off down the hallway. She just booked it. And I was too busy laughing to even be scared. Like, I didn't even run away. I just laughed for a while and then slowly walked away. It was great.
Oh my gosh. That's perfect.
I did think of one, kind of, sort of.
Let's hear it.
So I have a real estate lady who is a friend of mine, and we went to this one house, and the kind of weird thing is my mom had dreamt of this house ever since she was a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, afterwards I was like, hey Mom, I found your house, But anyway, we went upstairs because the house was being sold. So we went upstairs, and it's kind of one of those attic rooms. And so I was standing there and I was like, oh my gosh, there is this lady in here and she is not happy that we're here. And so my friend is kind of standing there, and she's a little bit of a sensitive. And so she's like, okay. And I'm like, so maybe we should just go out of this room. And she's like, okay. So she starts like backing up a little bit. And then we get out of that room, and I'm like, okay. She's standing right behind me, and she's like, get out. And my friend goes, she literally just said that to you? And I said, yep. She goes, I'm out. And she flew down the stairs, and I'm like, hey, what about me? You're going to leave me behind? And she's like, geez. Fend for yourself. And she was out the door. And I'm coming out the door, and I'm like, wow, what a friend you are. And she's like, hey, when they say get out, I listen. So, yeah. So, just be careful what you say or what you hear, because, your friends might leave you behind.
That reminds me of Julie at the cemetery. If you go to my TikTok, if you scroll down, you'll find it. There's a video of me and Brandon at the Greenwood Cemetery and two of our friends that were with us before we joined the group. I think I told you the story about it before.
I think so.
We were all standing around doing an EVP session, and through the ghost box, I said, do you want us to leave? Or something. How did it go? I don't know. It's on recording, but my brain doesn't work for remembering. But either way, the ghost says to leave, and she's like, yep, I'm out. And she starts putting it back to the van.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, looks like Ryan's not coming tonight, so we will get him on the show hopefully tomorrow. But you can catch us back here tomorrow with George Choplin, and that's at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. Well, panel, it's been absolutely amazing. We've had new faces, new guests come on tonight and tell us about some of their most fantastic stories. But you guys have been absolutely amazing. I thank you guys for everything you do. So until tomorrow, you guys have a good night, and you guys go to sleep, because some of you have to get up in the morning. So
Easy game.
I'll see y'all later. Have a good night, and see you on show. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to promote our new product. Shall we promote the new product before we end the show?
What is it?
Okay. Well, one last thing. We are promoting one more brand new thing for our friend Lurker, his new product and his new line of barbecue sauce. Enjoy.
What? He really?
It's magically delicious.
Wow.
Courtesy of this video, and we do not own rights to this video. Everything and all the proceeds go to the paranormal consultant. So go buy this barbecue sauce and treat your meat today. Oh,
Matt
geez.
back himself up for that one or what?
Oh, jeez. All right, guys. Well, we are
going on so far. I bet I knew what Rochelle's reaction was already going to be.
What? Me?
I was watching all your reactions during the commercial.
Yeah, you can see people down below. That's hilarious.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, do you guys, does anybody tonight want to do our spirited question? What is a really good question that you would have for a paranormal investigator? Well, we can't do a spirited question yet. And now we can.
You have one in mind?
I do not, but I can look one up.
I have an idea.
So do I.
Go ahead.
Sure, let's hear it.
How much should you push a spirit before enough is enough?
That is a good question.
How much should you try to get the activity going before it's too much?
Well, don't provoke.
That's a really good question. I think the only way I can approach this is by saying not to provoke. For one, unless it's absolutely necessary to provoke, you should not provoke. You don't want to push too far. If you see that it's not working and nothing is working, I say use provoking as your very last resort. But if you see that it's not working, move on and come back.
That's
just
what I would say as well.
Because we experienced this over at the Boyd House. I mean, we pushed that spirit too far, and he got upset. He didn't want to talk. But then when Rochelle and Cara go to talk to him, he's just fine. That's because our whole team had made him mad. We pushed too far. And then Rochelle and Cara were able to sit down with him and kind of smooth things over and talk with him. So I say you don't want to push too far. Give him a break, walk away, and try to reapproach.
Son of a bitch.
Yes. What was that?
It's my son, my 33-year-old son, yelling at a game show. I am so sorry. He's playing Fall Guy, and yeah.
That was a great addition to the show.
I am so sorry.
Don't be. It's all right.
Don't laugh about everyone.
Here's a question for your future shows.
Sure.
Have you ever thought to ask what's something that you learned the hard way?
Oh.
What's something that you learned along the way? Something that you had to learn the hard way? Obviously not. We already got that one, but there's so many other answers.
Oh, and I'd like to hear those answers. You know what? Why don't we make that tomorrow's spirited question? Because I'd love to hear. We'll see. So, all right, guys. Well, everybody, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, we are at the end of the show. We're going to get going here, but thank you guys for being an absolutely amazing panel as well as an amazing team. I hope you guys have a good night, and I definitely look forward to seeing you guys on tomorrow's show.
Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Good night.
See you later. Thanks, guys. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for being amazing audience. And for the new faces that have came on the show tonight and told us their stories, we can't wait to have our show tomorrow and let everybody kind of meet George Shoplin. He's never been on the show before, so we're excited to meet him and all the future guests to come. So go over and check out Global Ghost Hunt. You're not going to be disappointed, as well as ParaPost Network. Also, Check out our sponsor, dscos.com, and use code MNSH. Get 10% off of your order of already great prices. Go check them out. And our sponsor, Paranormal Consultant, which was on the show tonight. So that's all we have tonight, but enjoy our P3 video as well as our outro. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all for watching. Happy hunting.
To this crew here, we like to keep it positive, you know how we do. Big up to this crew. From day one till it's done, do or die, me and you. Big up to this crew. Yeah, we like to keep it positive, you know how we do. Big up to this crew. Got props non-stop and mad love for you.
Rising up like the moon, elevating the mood, uplifting attitudes, cause that's what we choose to do. And I don't know about you, but there's enough negativity going around with plenty room to improve. Yeah, sometimes we collide with stress and negativity. We always let it slide. It's an elevated vibe, so fly. We touch the sky every time we ride.
Big up to this crew. Yeah, we like to keep it positive. You know how we do. Big up to this crew. From day one till it's done, do or die, me and you. Big up to this crew. Yeah, we like to keep it positive. You know how we do. Big up to this crew. Got props non-stop and mad love for you.
Now roll back time. Tell me what you find. You're gonna see the same sucker MCs on the sidelines. In the fourth quarter when it's do or die time. That's when this crew is inclined to go prime time. From day one straight till it's done. But you all know full well that we only just begun. Yeah. We stick together, one for all for one. When it gets heavy, no, we don't cut and run. Crazy thinking about the places that we've been. Now I could tell you stories that'll make your head spin. But like I said, straight, thick or thin, there's so many memories giving me silly grins. So please allow me to introduce to you my one and only homies, yo, I love this crew. So please allow me to introduce to you my one and only homies, yo, I love this crew.
Big up to this crew. Yeah, we like to keep it positive, you know how we do. Big up to this crew. From day one till it's done.
Viewer discretion is advised.